Why, after so long, did you decide to speak publicly about the passing of your brother Marvin?
Well, it was due. My whole thing is, why not now? And I'm going to tell you why I decided to wait until now. Because I'm so tired of people doing movies, writing books, documentaries, and the stories are so inaccurate that my purpose is to straighten the record out. So I feel that it was time to do it. This was the right time. I want people to know that they're getting the truth and honesty because it's coming from a family member, someone who was there, who experienced living with Marvin. Those are all the people out there. For instance, this movie that's coming up, Sexual Healing, I'm really appalled about that because they're having someone play my mother. How do you play my mother and you don't know anything about my mother? No one has reached out to my sister or myself to ask us about my mother or whatever. So this is why I'm doing the play. I want people to know that when they see this play, they're getting the real deal. They're getting honesty and the truth.
That's a great reason. What would you say has been maybe the biggest, and just one biggest inaccuracy? I know they got to see the play to really get the whole story, but what may, in your mind, has been the biggest inaccuracy?
Well, the biggest inaccuracy is they don't know why. We know what happened. They don't know why it happened. They need to know why. They need to know the Marvin behind the music. People only knew Marvin. Marvin's fans only knew him from his music and being on stage, but they didn't know Marvin once he left the stage. So the biggest inaccuracy is why it happened.
And you'll have to come see the play to find out. But let me ask you, when you decided to release the rewriting of your book and turn it into a play about your brother's death, what was your family's initial reactions of your memoirs?
My family is 100% and has been 100% behind me. They also want the truth to come out. We're all sick of it. We're all sick of the lies and people fabricating what they thought happened. So they were 100% behind me.
Did you collaborate with anyone else in writing My Brother Marvin?
Which one, the book or the play?
The play.
Yes, Angela Barr Dunlap. She's my playwright. And by me telling her the story, she adapted it into a play.
How long now has My Brother Marvin, the play, been running?
We started in, maybe I would say about 6 weeks.
Now, I'm under the impression that you had taken out, I guess, another version or an earlier version of this on the road before. Is this the same production or something different?
This is totally different. The story basically is, stays the same. We know what happened, but this play is more of a dramatic piece. It's not a musical. We don't have any of Marvin's music in the play, and I want that to be perfectly clear because I don't want people to think that they're coming to hear Marvin's music. And I do have music inspired by Marvin, but if they want to know the story, it's a drama. It's a dramatic piece. But you get a little bit of everything. There is music in my play, but I was not able to license Marvin's music, so I'm giving more of the story. I'm giving more of the history of my family.
For those who may not actually know this, but we see in your background, did you actually sing background on one of my favorites? It still starts most parties at a lot of clubs, especially the oldie but goodie crowd, that you sang background on his hit "Got to Give It Up." Have you ever considered re-releasing any music or any music products of Marvin?
I didn't hear your last question.
Have you had any opportunity to consider re-releasing any of his music or any?
No, I don't have that right to do anything to his music. That has to go through the proper channels, the ones who control his music. But to answer your question, the first one, yes, that's me making all the party sounds on Got to Give It Up.
You were also a dancer on some of his tours, am I correct?
Yes, one tour I was a dancer, and that was so much fun.
Are you surprised by the level of success and the reception that my brother Marvin has been receiving?
Well, let's just say I'm very happy. It warms my heart to know that people still love him just as much and has come out to support the play. That makes me very happy.
We love Marvin. We love Marvin. Can you describe briefly what the casting process was like? You have some very interesting stars in the production.
Yes, I have a wonderful cast, and Angela Dunlap, she basically, reached out to the cast members. Some of the cast members was in the first play, and they could not wait for the play to come back out, and they loved the new version of the play now, like Clifton Powell, Keith Washington, Tony Grant. We were able to reach out and get Lynn Whitfield, and who's phenomenal, is my mother. And a lot of that, it goes past me, of course, but, a lot of that I left up to Miss Dunlap.
Now, did you actually leave that decision as related to who played your brother? Was that hard to accept or to find someone to play your brother?
No, because Keith Washington and Tony Grant, like I said, they were in the first play, and they had Marvin down to a T. It's like watching Marvin on stage, actually. I didn't want anybody else except those two guys. Tony plays the Motown Marvin, and Keith Washington plays the sexual healing Marvin. Marvin had so many layers to him, I had to have three Marvins. I'm Marvin also, my teenage Marvin.
When you reflect, what are some of your fondest memories of your brother?
Wow, that's really a loaded question because I have so many. Times, but one of my fondest memories was when he was, doing his rendition of the national anthem that he was going to sing at the All-Star game in '83. At the
NBA All-Star game, we all remember well.
Yeah, he actually did that in my den, in my apartment, and so that one sticks out. And of course, all the family outings that we had, Christmas, and how he would come home and we all together, and we all sitting around singing and drinking eggnog, and decorating the tree. I have so many memories, but most of them just him being home and being around the family. That always stands out.
We all were moved to tears when he sang the national anthem, and he probably set the pace for a lot of people doing innovations with the national anthem. No one had probably innovated the national anthem the way he did. He certainly had a very unique style, and it's still great to hear. How is it for you to have an R&B legend as a brother?
Absolutely wonderful. There are no words to express how I feel. I thank God every day that we were of the same family. My brother was my brother first before I saw him or looked at him as Marvin Gaye, the entertainer. He's always been Marvin, my brother.
Nowadays, everybody's walking around with their headphones on, and everybody's listening to their favorite musicians via their telephone, their cell phone, or even their iPod. Now, of course, we know you're a fan of your brother's music, but what is on, or what would be on your headphone besides your brother right now? What music do you listen to?
I love Barry White. I love the Whispers. I kind of stay in that era. I love, I can even go back, Blue Magic and Manhattan and, Ingredients, the main Ingredients. That's my kind of music. I'm old school.
Now, have you been approached or considered doing any type of reality TV? Would you consider it?
Certainly, if the right people come along, and I have been approached, but, we haven't had the right one yet. But yes, I'm very open for reality. So I think it would be one of the best reality shows that would ever be out there, because my family is very, very interesting and funny.
Well, we look forward to seeing that humor and charm even on our stage in a few weeks.
You're going to get that. My play now has everything in it that you could think of. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll sing, you'll stomp your feet, you might get a little mad. I don't know. You'll have mixed emotions when you see my play. And to know that when you leave there, you can leave with closure. That's what's important to me, that the fans get some closure and that they can understand what really happened and have a whole different outlook on even my father. That's really important to me. And I also deal with addiction and know what addiction can do to a family, how it can tear it apart. So I cover all of that in my play. A little bit of everything in it.
Sounds very compelling and intriguing. I have one or two more questions. Other than my brother Marvin, what other things do you do to keep your brother's memory alive?
Well, this is the main thing that I do. Of course, I wrote a book, and this is my way of keeping Marvin's legacy. I feel that he passed the torch to me, and that torch is to help, if I can help someone out there, because he did it through his music, he preached through his music.
What does, your family, or what is your biggest kind of uncomfortableness with this sexual healing film that is supposed to be coming out? What other points would you want the listening audience to know as it relates to your family and your concern?
Well, I want them to know that I'm not in any way connected with that film. The film is not being blessed by my family, and I'm talking about my immediate family, which consists of my sister, myself, and her kids and my kids. None of us sanctioned that film. I feel it's going to be very negative, and they don't know the truth. They don't know what happened. They weren't there. And if nobody has reached out to my sister or myself, then it's not going to be accurate. And I want everybody to know that.
Let me just ask you in kind of a concluding way to tell us a little bit about, your family, your current situation. I know you're excited about your grandson. Share with us a little bit about your children and your family, and what's the future look like for Zeola Gaye?
Well, my family, my daughters, which I have two, Monique and Kim, and I do have one grandson, Dominique. My nieces, Donna and Angie. We're all, we just stick together, and we have, family dinners once a week where we all get together and we talk about things and we laugh. We love to laugh. We love, making each other, smile. And as a matter of fact, my daughter and my niece is here. Both of my nieces are out here with me now, and my daughter's here. So it's like a family affair all the time.
Anybody performers?
No, Marvin was the performer.
Well,
they can all sing, don't get me wrong, and they all have talent, but, they don't want to go on stage.
I see. Well, let me assure you that the city of Newark, New Jersey, and all of us in the surrounding greater Newark area is very excited about this play coming. Our tickets are going well, but we look forward to meeting you and having you in our house, and just want to thank you for your time. And pass the word that if they don't catch it at another location, they need to be with us on April 27th, April 26th, April 27th, and April 28th here in the city of Newark at Newark Symphony Hall. We're just so excited. And I want to thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
You're so welcome, Al. Thanks for having me. Please come out and see the play, George. I'm looking forward to coming to your city.